COVID-19 crisis has brought about unprecedented changes in our lives. We find ourselves in situations not of our own choosing, but imposed by external circumstances. Now, this means that in order for us to save the academic year 2020, we also have to take into consideration the principle of saving lives, which is more primary. Many of our colleges have made initiatives to ensure that they support students in remote learning. This includes lessons which are broadcast on How TV, which are then packaged and distributed to you, the students, via WhatsApp, our department's website, and also various institutions' website. These lessons are meant to support you in this particular crisis, over and above the fewer and shorter lectures, contact lectures that you will be getting. These lessons will be more valuable for you to be able to pass in this particular academic year. We therefore call on all students not to see this as a moment of despair, but to see this as an opportunity to use all these available resources to support your own learning and teaching. I wish you all the best. Let's save lives. Let's save the academic year 2020.
Greetings and my name is Ms. Piri from the Orbit College in Rustenburg. Today we'll be talking about manufacturing a jewellery piece, a half-round ladies band. In this workshop, we're going to start with melting, the melting process. You're going to put your metal in this ingot, in the crucible. So this is a crucible. Before you melt metal in the crucible, you have to lace it with borax. The process of lacing it, you have to put borax inside and then heat up with your flame. So with your flame, this is the oxygen and the gas. The oxygen and the gas flame, you open up your gas first with your lighter as well, and then you lace it up, making sure that your borax mixes throughout your crucible. Once you're done melting your work, you're going to pour it onto your ingot. Your ingot has to be hot. You have to warm up your ingot before you pour your metal onto your ingot. So your metal will move from the crucible to your ingot. Because we're using copper, your copper melts at 185 degrees. So you have to make sure that your flame is a bit hot, really high. So you move from your ingot, from your crucible, then you pour it into your ingot. In most instances, once you have chosen the size that you want to use, remember there's, as you can see, there's 3 different sizes in measurements, and there's also a size that's even bigger. So you must make sure that you use the size that will be able to roll it onto your rolling machine. So in this project, we're going to use a bar that is about this size. All right, so from melting your bar, from melting your metal, your copper metal, and pouring it into your ingot, and then quenching it into cool water so that it's not hot. You cannot hold your metal while it's still hot. So now we're moving from the melting area to the rolling mill. Okay, with the rolling mill, we have the square side, and then the flat side. So from the square side, you're going to roll it. In this rolling mill, you're going to adjust the sizes that you want. If you want it to be thinner, you'll have to adjust it here. If you want it to be thick, you adjust it here. So as you move this wheel here, the 2 bars, either they get closer or they get wider. All right. So because you already have your bar, you then decide as to which side you want to roll your metal. So now you're getting it tighter to the size of your bar. Remember, you have to first roll it into a square before you roll it flat. So as tight, you get the tightest part, you roll it. When you get to the other side, you turn it around so that it becomes a proper square. Remember, all sides, it must be the same size on each and every side, on each square. You understand? So you get it tight again. Roll it. When you get to the other side, you turn it, and then you roll it backwards again. And then you tighten it again. You do the same process for about, maybe you roll it about four times. After you're done rolling it about 4 times, you go to your flame, you anneal it. So the whole purpose of annealing your metal is so that the atoms on your metal relax. When your atoms in your metal relaxes and then they go apart, when you quench it, it's easier for you to work with it. So as you work with it, the atoms again contract again, come back together, and then it gets hard again for you to work with it. So the process, you'll do it from time to time until such a point where you get it to the size that you want while it's a bar, while it's a square bar in this case. Yeah? So once you're done with rolling it to the size that you want into a square bar, you have to roll it now into a flat plate. Right. So when you roll it into a flat plate, same process again, you open up your machine. You're going to roll it, you're going to move to the side. Ne? Get it tight to the size that you want. So you roll it, and then you close it again, and then you roll it, and then you close it again. Please remember not to have your earphones on you or any loose material, because it will get hooked on the rolling mill. Tighten it, and then roll it again to the size that you want. While you're doing this, you must remember your vernier. Roll it and tighten it again. Open it a bit if it's too tight, and then you roll it. And once you get to the size that you want, remember, even with rolling it flat, you still get to go and anneal your work from time to time. Ne? The whole process, remember the process, the whole idea of annealing it so that it's easier to work with. All right, so now we're going to bend our metal. Remember, now as you moved from a thick square bar to a thin flat bar, so now we're going to bend it to the size that we want. Okay, so you move from the rolling mill to where you're going to make your metal round. So this is a swage block. On your swage block, it will help you to bend your ring as well. Ne? So you put your flat band across the swage block. You use your mallet and your ring size. So you're going to hammer your mallet. You're going to hammer your ring size with the mallet. The whole process is to get it round. So while you're doing this, you make sure that your metal is annealed still, and then you cross it around. Once you get it to be halfway bent, you can then go and anneal it again. You anneal your metal again. Once you've annealed it, come back, and then you try and bend it again. Then with the swage block, there's different sizes. So it will all depend on the size that you want your metal to be, your ring to be. So this is halfway done with your ring. So you're going to cut it and then solder your ring. So now you move to your bench.
All right. What happens at the bench?
It's that step that we made.
Yeah, but I really need to look it up.
Oh,
so
okay.
You say, so now that your ring is done like this, the next step is to move to the bench.
So once your ring is like this, we then move to the bench. At the bench, you're going to cut your ring on the center where your metal meets properly, and then bend it halfway, solder it, and then that's when you're going to start with filing it, cleaning it, and getting it to the shape that you want. The ring has already been soldered and rolled to the sizes that we want. Okay. So we're going to use a mallet. Because we're working on the bench, you have to make sure your mallet is on the bench peg, and then have your shoulder so that you don't hurt yourself. Use your shoulder so you don't hurt yourself. So as you hammer, you must turn your ring around so that you're able to hammer on each and every side of your ring. So you have to make sure the one side and the other are the same. So you turn your ring around again before you hammer it again. After you have hammered, your ring has to be perfectly round. Now on the next step, you take your flat file. Since you're now happy with your ring that is round and is the same size on all sides, you take your flat file and then you file your ring on the sides to make it even flatter and clean. When you file, you must make sure that after you have filed one side, file it maybe about 3 or 4 strokes, you turn it around and then you file it again. Okay, now we're still taking off marks. We're still buffing off marks, né? Because we already have our ring. We already have the size and the thickness, right? So now we just taking off the marks before we go and polish it. So polishing is your end result, where now your ring is all clean and smooth. Okay. So this is how your ring looks after filing and buffing. Remember, with the filing, we're trying to get the size of the ring, the shape of the ring that you wanted. Remember, we moved from a ring being flat to a D-shaped ring. Okay? And then these buff sticks, we use them for cleaning up the marks that were created by the flat file because it's rough again. So now we moved from coarse to medium and to the soft file. So when you clean the inside of your ring, find a comfortable place, put your hand on top of your bench so that it doesn't move around and you hurt yourself. So when you're cleaning the inside, you make sure that you take out all the marks. So you're going to rotate your ring around. So with the sandpaper, you're cleaning up the inside of your ring. You're taking out all the marks that were done by the half round file when we're getting the ring cleaned up on the inside. So you clean it up first with the coarse sandpaper, the 320 sandpaper. Once you're done with the 320, you do the same thing with the 600 sandpaper. When you're polishing the inside of your ring, you use a small mop. This mop you use it with the polisher. The polisher that we use is a Unipol. It's called Unipol, blue Unipol. So the same process that you used with the sandpapers, it's the same thing that you do use with the inside of your ring, with the polishing mop. All right. Now that you've done the inside of your ring and you're happy with how it looks, then you get to polish your ring on the top on the big polisher. So when you're polishing, make sure that you hold your metal stiff. Don't have any loose earrings or any earphones on you because it will hang, it will contact on this. So we're polishing on the outside with the uniform. Keep putting on the juice as well, the root. As you polish it, you realize it gets hot. So make sure that you always get your angle right. Don't polish like that, just polish from the bottom so that you are able to have control on your piece. Alright, once you've polished everywhere on your ring, you then move to the softer side of the polishing mop. On the softer side of the polishing mop, there isn't any polish, so it basically takes out some of the polish that's already on your ring. When taking out polish, make sure that you rotate your ring from one angle and then turn it around so that you are able to polish on all sides of your ring. Same process as you did on your rough polishing mop. You also turn your ring on the clear surface and polish it on that angle. So now that all sides of your ring is polished, the inside and the outside, you now clean it up with the ultrasonic. So because you cannot put your hand inside of the ultrasonic, we have this silver wire that you're going to put your ring onto it. And then when you switch on the ultrasonic, you're going to put the ring inside for the time that we have set for it to run. Once you're done, you take it out and clean it off properly. So when you hold it, you can shake it around or you're using this silver rod. Just shake it out so that it takes out all the polish from your ring. And when you have maybe a ring that has a whole lot of intricate designs, or a ring that has a whole lot of stones, if it has 12 setting rings, when you put it inside, you always have to make sure that you have a surf underneath so that your stones don't fall out and fall onto your ultrasonic, because if it does, then you have to clean up all the ultrasonic, take out all the water that's inside and start it all over again. So the surf prevents the stones from falling on the inside of your ring, of the ultrasonic. Now we just left with about a few seconds before our ring is done from the ultrasonic, and then it will switch off by itself. Once it's off, then you'll be able to dry your ring with a cloth or a tissue paper. So when you raising your hand, I'm just trying to see how far is the polish on our ring, but so far it has come off in most areas of your ring. So when you shake your ring so forth, it helps with taking out the polish from your ring. So it's nearly done. So once it's done, it switches off by itself. Take out the ring. And then you use your tissue to wipe out the water. If there's still polish, you'll do the same process again. So once your ring is all cleaned up, with all the polish out, then this is what we're looking for. Okay, this is the final stage of our ring. Hope you learned enough from it. You've seen all the 3 stages of making the ring, from the melting to the rolling to the sizing and the polishing process.